Located at 297 Shore Road in Chatham, Massachusetts.
Game 2 of the Western Division semifinals for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks is win or go home. Falmouth has a 1-0 lead on the Western Division semis right now, and we're playing live from Gov Fuller Field out here in Falmouth, Massachusetts, where the Harbor Hawks will take the field fighting for their playoff lives. Good evening, everybody. I'm Chris Lucey. I'm your pregame host, taking you through an abbreviated pregame show here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, where Hyannis will take the field at 6 o'clock against the Falmouth Commodores. This series going 1-0 in favor of the Falmouth Ball Club right now. Plenty to look forward to in the little bit abbreviated pregame show here. We'll have highlights of Game 1 of the Western Division Series, a game that took 3 days to get started due to an off day and then 2 rainouts. I'll have a word with Robert Marcello about today's starting pitchers. And then, of course, we'll take a quick look back at how the season series has gone between these two ball clubs, not only during the postseason, but also during the regular season. First, though, we'll take a look back at yesterday. It was a pitcher's duel through 9 innings. They played the entire ball game, but the Harbor Hawks were unable to come out on top despite a big rally in the top of the 9th inning, putting a man in scoring position, another right behind him at first base, but a spectacular play at second base ended the game, a 2-1 loss for the Harbor Hawks, but still plenty to be proud of in that game, namely standout performances from pitcher Ryan Pepio, who took a hard luck loss, only allowing 2 earned runs in 5 1/3 an inning of work. And how about Todd Lott and Matt Barefoot continuing to stay hot? Todd Lott extending a home hit streak to 22 games, and then Matt Barefoot with yet another multi-hit game. Plenty to be proud of, but a loss for the Harbor Hawks last night. Regardless, we'll take a look back, courtesy of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on SoundCloud.
1 year and 364 days of waiting is over. 729 sleeps later, it's playoff time for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks as they welcome in the Falmouth Commodores for the first matchup of a 3-game set in the first round of the 2018 Western Division playoffs. A 2 versus 3 showdown with one thing on each of their minds: 6 more wins, which would equate to a Cape League title. Hyannis is in search of their first ring since 1991. Falmouth, on the other hand, looks to end their 38-year drought. And it all starts tonight. Hi, everybody. I'm Lyle Goldstein, joined alongside Robert Marcello on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now, Davidson came into this summer as one of the most highly coveted prospects on the islands. Pepio's ready with the first pitch. Davidson swings and sends a high drive to deep right center field. Back is McIntyre to the track at the wall, and it is gone. Logan Davidson breaks a 0-0 deadlock here in the top of the second with a wall scraper of a home run, getting out by about 6 inches, just out of the reach of Mitch McIntyre, who leaped at the wall, and Falmouth goes on top 1-0.
Ryan Pepio still on the mound, and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3 at that. Outside changeup for the first out in the top of the 6th. Now on the day, 7 strikeouts.
Todd Lott hitting .260 with runners on base this season as he swings and sends a line drive up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Barefoot rounding third, heading home. Relays cut off, no throw to the plate, and Barefoot slides in safely. Todd Lott comes through with an RBI single in the bottom of the 7th. Falmouth 2, Hyannis 1, as Lott picks up his 2nd hit of the night. Runners on first and second with 2 outs, a 2-1 game. Pitch to Lindsley, swinging a ground ball over to the second baseman in Cantrell, bobbles it, but throws to first just in time to get Brady Lindsley for the final out of this ball game. Falmouth wins a pitcher's duel by a final score of 2-1 and takes the first game in the first round of the Western Division Series.
Lyle Goldstein and Robert Marcello on the call there. Final score of Game 1 of the Western Division semifinals. It was Hyannis 1 and Falmouth 2. The Commodores taking the opening game of the 2018 playoffs for the Harbor Hawks. Welcome back on the airwaves right now, along with Robert Marcello joining me on the broadcast right now. I'm Chris Lucey. Rob, first half play-by-play man today. You're going to have to set us up for a matchup of 2 experienced arms for these ball clubs. Houston Roth, the junior out of Ole Miss, going for Hyannis, and then Tyler Dyson going for the Falmouth Commodores. And we've seen plenty out of Houston Roth this season, 8 games pitched, but Hyannis also has seen plenty of Tyler Dyson. He threw 5 innings against the Harbor Hawks earlier this season and really was lights out. What is it about him that makes him so dominant?
I think you see it with any good pitchers. They're able to command their pitches really well. They're able to get ahead of guys and really force batters on their heels.
And Dyson can really force guys on their heels with that upper 90s fastball that he has. So somebody that the Harbor Hawks will have to keep an eye out for. National Anthem coming up here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. So we're going to take a quick break. But when we get back, we'll have first pitch and lineups on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Time for lineups and first pitch on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Welcome everybody here this evening to Gov Fuller Field here in Falmouth as we have Game 2 of a best-of-3 series. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the road heading off against the Falmouth Commodores. I'm Robert Marcello along with Chris Lucey. And Chris, today it is do or die for the Harbor Hawks.
That's right, Rob. It was a tough 2-1 loss for Hyannis yesterday. So the Harbor Hawks come in on a little bit of a tough stretch with a tough loss, not only to start the playoffs, but also to end the regular season where they lost 9-1 against the YD Red Sox. A considerable break between Game 44 and also Game 1 of the playoffs as well. Definitely throwing the Harbor Hawks for a loop. The weather not really cooperating with the Hyannis Ball Club, but still, the Harbor Hawks need a win here. So despite the distractions, despite the hard luck over the last couple of days, it all needs to go out the window tonight, and Hyannis just has to come out and jump on Tyler Dyson early if they want a chance of keeping their season alive.
They sure do. Now going to quickly go through the Harbor Hawks order. Davis Wenzel is leading off. He's playing short. In the second spot is Trevor Hoover. He's out in right field. The left fielder is Matthew Barefoot. After Barefoot would be Pedro Pages over at first. The DH spot today is Todd Lott. Over at third base is Seth Gray. Over at second base is Eric Rivera. The catcher for tonight's game is Brady Lindsley. And to round up the 9, Mitch McIntyre is out in center field. Now quickly going to go through the infield for the Falmouth Commodores. Dyson is pitching. Behind home plate is Hanley. Over at first is Volpe. Over at second is Cantrell. Over at shortstop is Davidson. Over at third is Cannon. Out in left field is Brennan. Out in center field is Langworthy. And to round up the defensive 9 is Matt Wallner. Still waiting here to get it going here at Gov Fuller Field. And Chris, something to keep in mind today for the Harbor Hawks. Houston Roth is on the mound today, trying to get a little poise here. Does not have a decision on the year, but he's pitched a lot.
No, absolutely. 32 innings pitched, 8 starts for Hyannis, a 5.90 ERA. He struck out 33 in those 32 innings of work, but he's also walked 13. So he needs to just continue attacking the zone and not try to leave pitches over the plate. It's inflated his ERA at times, the way he's been hit around at times this season. So if he is able to paint the corners and give his catcher Brady Lindsley the precision he needs when he's hitting his spots, he'll be able to possibly steal his first decision of the season.
He sure could. Here, the Harbor Hawks are down 1-0 in the series. Have to win this game tonight to keep their playoff dreams alive, as Game 3 would be back at McKeon Park. And something I talked about with Lyle last game, Chris, that something that still holds true. It took a long time to play this game.
No, it absolutely did. Yeah, the original scheduling of the league actually had Game 3, if necessary, being played on Monday. And heck, they didn't play Game 1 until Monday. And all the other series throughout the leagues, unbelievably, have gone as sweeps. So Hyannis kind of slowing up the rate of play here. But regardless, it's just been a tough couple days as far as the weather was concerned, because a torrent of rain came down on the first day of the Cape League playoffs. And Hyannis' field is built on an old swamp, so it just didn't really drain the water out all that well. And people were working on the field from night until well past noon. From about 9 a.m. that morning until 3 p.m. that day on Saturday, there were people nonstop throwing diamond dry on the outfield, trying to get it ready, and they just couldn't. It wasn't going to happen. So unfortunately, Hyannis had to postpone the game one more day. But yesterday they got it in. Of course, not the result Harbor Hawks fans were hoping for, but still, there have been a lot of people who have worked very hard to get both the Commodores and the Harbor Hawks on the field here for Game 2. And this is why you do it. Look around you. There's stands packed full of fans everywhere. It's a beautiful day for baseball. And again, it's all on the line. This is about as exciting as it gets, whether it's a college season or a professional season, let alone a summer ball season.
It's very true, Chris. We're going to go to a quick break here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, just trying to get this game underway. The national anthem happening earlier today fooled us for a loop. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. 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 You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Welcome back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. I'm Robert Marcello along with Chris Lucey. Here is David Swinzel is going to get ready to start off this game. A little funny, Chris. We start a little bit earlier today than we normally do.
That's right. Yeah, a lot of ceremonies to get out of the way. Maverick Hanley was given the Danny Silver Award for sportsmanship before the game. And then, of course, this being the home opener of the playoffs for the Commodores. So a lot of awards given out. And then the Commissioner's Trophy given to the Commodores media team for professionalism on the media side of things.
Davis Wenzel to lead things off. What were you saying, Chris?
Just a lot to get out of the way, but you're right.
It's very true. And the first pitch. That is in for a strike to start things off here at Gov Fuller Field. Game 2 of a best-of-3 series.
And Tyler Dyson is a strike thrower, to say the least. 19 innings pitched, 23 strikeouts this summer.
0-1 pitches. Sent foul from Wenzel. Quickly down 0-2 in the count.
Looks like Dyson's got a bit of a playoff beard going today. Usually clean-shaven.
0-2 pitch from Dyson. That is fouled off just the edge of Wenzel's bat. Harbor Hawks today in their road blue jerseys, while Falmouth is wearing their road black jerseys. Today decided they wore them in game 1, might as well wear them for game 2. The 0-2 pitch. That off-speed pitch is high for a ball. Count now at 1-2.
Yeah, Dyson has been lights out this year, so the black a little bit appropriate as far as that's concerned.
And the 1-2 pitch. That is inside, strike 3. One gone to start things in the first at-bat of the day for the Harbor Hawks. Goes down with a K.
Mark that up, number 24 of the summer for Dyson. A 2.36 ERA in 3 games started. Took him a little while to get out here due to commitment with the University of Florida, where he plays his college baseball. Same with Austin Langworthy, who's behind him in center field. But only 9 walks to go with 23, now 24 Ks in 19 innings pitched.
Trevor Hoover now up. First pitch outside for a ball. Count 1-0 in Hoover's favor to start things off. Here today from Gov Fuller Field, 1 gone on the top of the first. 1-0 pitch is high for a ball, evens the count at 1-1. Bobby Melly over at first base as the coach, and Chad Gassman, the manager for the Harbor Hawks, over at third base. And the 2-0 pitch is outside for a ball, count now at 3-0. Trevor Hoover trying to be the first man on today for the Harbor Hawks. And the 3-0 pitch. That is an inside pitch. It's called for a strike. Count now at 3-1. Matthew Barefoot in the on-deck circle, and then after him would be Pedro Pages. 3-1 pitch. That is called for a strike. Count full at 3-2 here for Trevor Hoover, trying to Be the first man to get on base today for the Harbor Hawks. And the 3-2 pitch from Dyson. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Dyson. 2 outs quickly in the top of the first.
Yeah, Dyson with some dastardly moving stuff there. You saw that hooking slider come right in on Hauber's hands, and then the fastball up and in, freezing him up.
Matt Barefoot now up 2 quick outs to start things here from Gov Fuller Field. And the pitch from Dyson. That is in for a strike. Down the count, 0-1 is Matthew Barefoot, the MVP of the Cape Cod League baseball season. Had a fantastic year. And the 0-1 pitch is fouled off. Just to the backstop here. Count now 0-2. Matthew Barefoot's able to get on. Pedro Pages would be up. Shade starting to cover left field and third base. And the 0-2 pitch. That is sent high up in the air, just to the first baseman in Volpe for the third out. Ball went high up in the air, almost to where the Falmouth Commodores bench is. Able to catch it for the third out. Falmouth will be up for the first time today. Quick 1-2-3 for the Harbor Hawks. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
In combination with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and Ocean Street Studios comes a brand new show bringing you everything Harbor Hawk. This is Birds the Word, a comprehensive new way to engage with your favorite summer ball team. I'm your host, Harrison Myers, and every Thursday until the end of the 2018 Cape League season, we'll bring you everything Harbor Hawk. Interviews with players and coaches, behind-the-scenes tours, and stories you may not have heard about. Make sure you subscribe today so you don't miss any of the action.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Rob Marcello and Chris Lucey.
Houston Roth on the mound for the Harbor Hawks this early evening here from Falmouth. The starting pitcher, Will Brennan, to start things off. After him would be Maverick Hanley, Austin Langworthy, Cam Cannon, Matt Wallner, Logan Davidson, Edward Julian, Alex Volpe, and to round up the 9, Hayden Cantrell. And the first pitch for Roth is a fastball in for a strike. Quickly going to go around the infield. Behind home plate is Brady Lindsley. Over at first is Pedro Pages. Over at second is Eric Rivera. Over at short is Davis Wenzel. The 0-1 pitch. That is outside for a ball. Over at third is Seth Gray. Out in left field is Matthew Barefoot. Out in center field is Mitch McIntyre. And to round up the defensive 9, Trevor Harvard is out in right field. And the 1-1 pitch. That breaking ball lines right to Seth Gray. He's able to catch it for the first out in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, it looked like Will Brennan just got that off the nub of his bat. He sent it right over to Seth Gray, and Seth was looking alive, made the catch.
One gone quickly here in the bottom of the first. 0-0 here from Gov Fuller Field. Now up is Maverick Hanley. Won the Umpires Award. First pitch to Hanley. That is in first strike. Roth, both batters he's had so far today, gone ahead. Something he's very successful at doing. The 0-1 pitch. That is low for a ball. Lindsay throws it back to Roth. Count even at 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch from Roth. That breaking ball is a ground ball to Seth Gray over at third. Dribbles it, but throws it on to first for the second out of the inning. First came out of Seth Gray's glove, but he was able to pick it up and throw it on to first. Too quickly gone here in the bottom of the first.
Well, Seth has never been at a loss for confidence. He's a very calm and confident player, and yeah, bobbles the ball a little bit right there, but has all the confidence in the world in his arm. He just gets it up, throws a little more heat on it over to Pedro at first, gets the out.
Austin Langworthy now up the center fielder today for the Falmouth Commodores. Too quickly gone in the bottom of the first. First pitch of this at bat is outside for a ball. Langworthy trying to get on for the first time today for the Falmouth Commodores. They're up 1-0 in the series. And the 1-0 pitch. That fastball is high for a ball. Count even at 1-1. Two quick outs here in the bottom of the first. 0-0 here from Guff Fuller Field. And the 2-0 pitch. That is called a strike. Count now at 2-1. Good crowd here today at Guff Fuller Field for a playoff matchup. The 1-2 pitch. That is in for a strike. Count even at 2-2. For Austin Langworthy. And the 2-2 pitch. That is a breaking ball in the dirt. Count full at 3-2.
Not a bad pitch for Houston Roth to waste there. See if you can get Langworthy to swing and miss. Strikeouts were his kryptonite during the regular season.
And the 3-2 pitch from Roth. That is a ground ball that will get past right up the middle. Roth had to jump up a little bit so it didn't hit him in the leg. And a 2-out single for Austin Langworthy.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of pitchers these days try and stick the glove down there and make some acrobatic, spectacular play. But with Roth, he did the smart thing. Just let it go up the middle, see if any of the guys standing behind you can actually field the ball, and don't put yourself at risk. You're only 90 feet away from a batted ball that could leave a baseball bat at 100 miles per hour.
Cam Cannon now up. Two gone, but a man over at first.
60 feet, 6 inches away, I should say. That's the mound distance.
And the first pitch of this at bat is outside for a ball. 1-0 is the count in Cannon's favor. Two gone, man over at first, taking a small lead. And over in Lindsley covering. And the 1-0 pitch. That is in for a strike. Pedro's covering him over at first. Count even at 1-1. Langworthy taking a pretty sizable lead. And the 1-1 pitch. That breaking ball is sent foul. Near the fan section, just behind the Falmouth Commodores dugout. Count now at 1-2. Man over at first, and Langworthy taking a lead still. Page is covering, though. And the 1-2 pitch. Going is Langworthy. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and Houston Roth able to get out of this inning. No runs let up from either side after 1-0-0. Harborhawks will be up to start the top of the second. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Rob Marcello.
Pedro Pages to lead things off in the top of the second, 0-0 here from Gov Fuller Field. Tyler Dyson still out on the mound for the Commodores. He's the starting pitcher. And the first pitch to start the top of the second is in low for a ball. Pedro Pages today playing first base for the Harbor Hawks. The 1-0 pitch. That is sent foul, count even at 1-1. Here, shades continuing to start to fall here at Gov Fuller Field. Covering most of left field and most of third base. 1-1 even pitch from Dyson. That is just at the bottom of the zone for a ball.
The way the sun comes over the field here in Falmouth is very similar to how it works in Hyannis, in that it's very tough on lefties, because when you're standing in the left-handed batter's box, the sun is setting right in your face, essentially, and it gets in your eyes.
And the pitch. That is high for a ball.
And in
Down
that
at
same
2-2 even. Sorry there, Chris. I thought he said it was a ball the last pitch before that, but it was actually called a strike. Next pitch sent out to low right field, and we'll get down for a leadoff base hit for Pedro Pages. The first hit on the day for the Harbor Hawks.
And maybe this inning is a bit of a reprise from the first inning, in that you need to get to a fastballer like Dyson early. And Hyannis didn't do that in the first inning. They went down 1-2-3. So if Hyannis can maybe force a few good cracks on Dyson here, get on the board early, and then get a solid performance from its pitching staff, this game can be different from game one.
Todd Lott now up. The DH today for the Harbor Hawks. Man over at first, and Pages taking a small lead. In the pitch. That is a swing and a miss at that fastball by Dyson. Count quickly down 0-1 in Todd Lott's favor. Volpe's covering Pages over at first, but Pages not taking that big of a lead. The 0-1 pitch. That is fouled off. Quickly down 0-2 in the count is Todd Lott.
Well, Todd reached base 3 times in a 2-for-4 night last night. So although it was a tough day for the Harbor Hawks 9 overall hitting-wise, Todd has continued to swing a good bat for the Harbor Hawks in the playoffs.
The 0-2 pitch into Todd Lott. That is a roper right back to the pitcher. Throws him out at second base. Too quick on a double play.
Wow. Okay. So
a roper right back at the pitcher in Dyson. He's able to catch it. Tries to throw it back to first, but dribbles it just a little bit. They're in a commotion play here from Gov Fuller Field. Too quickly gone in a scary situation there for Dyson, and he's perfectly fine.
I mean, it's almost as if the ball dribbling off of Dyson's glove was the best thing to happen for the Commodores, because then it put Pedro Pages back in play between the base paths. He had to go.
And the pitch. That is in for a ball. Count out 1-0. Seth Gray is up. The third baseman today. The 1-0 pitch. That is called a strike just outside. Count even at 1-1. 2 quick outs. Harbor Hawks and Falmouth both have 1 hit, but no runs to show for it. That next outside fastball is call the ball. Count now at 2-1. Harbor Hawks trying to get on the board early. Next pitch is high for a ball. Checked over to the third base umpire, but said he did not go. 3-1 count now.
And
They'll be on base, 2 outs.
And who'd have thought we'd have seen a 1-3-4 double play this inning?
Next pitch is fouled off. Count full at 3-2. And the 3-2 pitch. That is a ground ball to the second baseman, and Cantrell throws it on to first for the third out, but gets off the bag as the first baseman in Volpe, but was able to tag Seth Gray in time. Falmouth will be up in the bottom of the second. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Rob Marcello and Chris Lucey.
Welcome back to things here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. To start things off, the bottom of the second inning is Matt Wallner in the pitch. That is outside for a ball. After him would be Logan Davidson. 1-0 pitch. That is in for a strike. Count even now at 1-1. Falmouth trying to get on the board in the second the same way they did last night in Falmouth with Logan Davidson having a solo shot. The 1-1 pitch. That is a swing and a miss at that low changeup. Count now at 1-2. 79 miles per hour. Count at 1-2. The pitch from Roth into Wallner. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's the second strikeout on the day. Back-to-back strikeouts for Houston Roth.
And he recovered from a single in the first with a strikeout, and now he's rolling once again.
Logan Davidson now up, the man that had the solo shot to break the scoreless tie at McKeon Park last night. See what he can do here. Houston Roth. And the pitch into Davidson. That high breaking ball is call the ball at 77 miles per hour. Brady Lindsley. Not allowing that go past him, but no one is on base, though. The 1-0 pitch. That is in low for a ball. Count now at 2-0. Infield for the Harbor Hawks playing at regular depth. Seth Gray slightly playing in. And the 2-0 pitch. That is outside for a ball. Count now at 3-0. Houston Roth trying not to let another man on this inning, trying to get a clean 1-2-3 inning for himself after getting 2 quick outs and then letting up a base hit. The 3-0 pitch. That is in for a strike, a get-me-over fastball right down the heart of the plate. Davidson didn't even think about swinging at it. Count at 3-1, 1 out. The 3-1 pitch from Roth into Davidson. That is in low, outside, ball 4 in the dirt, but Lindsley not allowing him to get past him, and a 1-out walk. The first of the day for Houston Roth.
And you can't blame Houston for trying to stay low and away and get outside of the zone against a guy like Davidson. Coach Korn said it best himself yesterday. Davidson is a big-time hitter. He's a consensus possible first-round top 5 pick in next year's draft. So you don't want to leave anything over the plate to him, and Harborhawks did yesterday and paid for it.
Man over at first and Davidson. Throws back to first is Roth. Over to Pages. Eddie Julian now up. Goes short for Edward is Eddie. And the pitch. That is in the dirt, but good stop by Brady Lindsley, not allowing Logan Davidson to advance.
I don't know how many Eddies there are in Quebec, but good stick. I mean, certainly something they might throw around a little bit more where he goes to college down at Auburn.
Maybe so. Count 1-0 in Julian's favor. Throws back to first as Roth over to Pages. Not even a slide there by Davidson. Count 1-0 in Julian's favor. 1-out man over at first. Throws back to first again. A slide this time, but he's safe, and a fear of Davidson going here. Falmouth trying to get off to an early lead here at home, already up 1-0 in the series. Falmouth just trying to keep it at 0-0, trying to tie this series up at 1-1. And the 1-0 pitch. That breaking pitch is in for a strike. Count even at 1-1 to Eddie Julian. After Julian will be Alex Volpe. And then after him would be Hayden Cantrell. The 1-1 pitch into Julian. That is just low for a ball. Lindsay trying to bring it back up in the zone, but the home plate umpire did not offer. Count at 2-1.
Another guy you have to be careful with. I mean, Julien had an OPS of 849 back at Auburn this year.
The 2-1 pitch, but first throws back to first almost in time, but he's safe. And Davidson trying to go here, trying to advance a base, trying to get in scoring position, something Falmouth has yet to be able to do today, get a man in scoring position. 2-1 pitch from Roth into Julian. That is high for a ball, count now at 3-1. Man still over at first, and Davidson making conversation with Pedro Pages. And play will resume. From the set is Roth. The 3-1 pitch. That is outside, ball 4. Houston Roth not happy about that. 2 straight walks. Now is a man in scoring position for the first time today for the Falmouth Commodores.
Dangerous territory here for Hyannis. I mean, you have 2 pitchers duels developing in this series, one already being played to completion last night, and now another low-scoring affair starting off here. Harborhawks either need to start scoring on their end or nip this in the bud before it could get serious, and a run or 2 be all the Commodores need to come out with a sweep.
Alex Volpe now up, the man from Holy Cross. Men both at first and second. 1 out. First pitch. That is stopped in the dirt by Brady Lindsley. Count at 1-0. Falmouth trying to get themselves off to an early lead, while the Hyannis Harborhawks trying to keep this at 0-0. They have their backs up against the wall here on the road, already down 1-0 in the series. The 1-0 pitch. That is just inside, gets past Brady Lindsley. The runners do advance there. Looked like it almost hit Volpe there, but it did not. Home plate umpire giving Brady Lindsley a new baseball. Coach Corn going to go out and talk to Houston Roth. And Chris, how important is it early for Houston Roth to be able to get out of this one in the second?
Oh, well, it's massive for Houston Roth to be able to get out of this. I mean, he's pitched a lot of innings for the Harbor Hawks as well, so you have to be wary of fatigue for him. So the less pitches he throws, the better. He's already passed 32 pitches today, and that is not a good sign through less than 2 innings of work. He's only thrown 1 1/3 as of now. So Ray is probably just out there to settle him down a little bit. The usual problem that Houston will have that Ray has worked on with him this season is that won't really get to the top of his arc and he'll leave pitches up. But today it's almost been the opposite. He's been leaving pitches low, and you saw it right there with Brady just unable to get to that low fastball. He was set up high and inside. The ball just ate him up low. He couldn't get to it, and both the runners advanced on it.
Trainer going out to see what the deal is with Houston Roth. Continuing the mound visit, Ray Corn goes back. Runners at second and third now. Count is 2-0 to Volpe here. Volpe just outside home plate, just taking his practice swings, waiting for this conversation to continue. And that's going to be the day for Houston Roth. A new pitcher will come on for the Harbor Hawks. We're going to allow him to get warmed up. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. to Chad Gaspin making all the right moves on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Brandon Lamanna on the mound for the Harbor Hawks. A pitching change after Houston Roth had to be taken out of the game. Can't start with a new count, though, because he's down himself 2-0.
Coming in at 5'8", 170 pounds, but behind in a 2-0 count that started off with Houston Roth.
The 2-0 pitch. That inside pitch is for a ball. Count 3-0.
Lamanna worked a scoreless inning in game number 44 against YD and had a .79 ERA for the New Haven Chargers in the NE10 conference this year.
The 3-0 pitch. That is inside for a strike. Just catching the inside part of the plate. Count at 3-1. Men over at second and third. One out in the bottom of the second inning. Early here from Guffiller Field. The 3-1 pitch. That is sent foul. Land right in the fan section just past the Commodores bullpen.
And it makes sense that he's throwing strikes here. He had a 6-3 strikeout to walk ratio for the Chargers this year. 35 Ks to only 9 walks.
Pretty impressive. Count full at 3-2. And the 3-2 pitch. That is a swing and a miss. Strike 3, throws on to first. The runner is not able to advance from home. 2 outs here and a big pitch there by Lamanna.
Absolutely. Lamanna just getting the job done right there. Putting the ball in play, keeping everybody put. It was a very light tapper over to the right side, and now Hyannis is right back where they need to be to get out of this thing unscathed.
Aiden Cantrell. Now up the 9th man in the order. Falmouth trying to get on the board early. And the pitch. That is a swing and a miss at that fastball. There, Lamanna in a big spot that not many relief pitchers think they're going to be in the bottom of the second inning.
Hyannis needs length out of him today.
Count is at 0-1. And the pitch. That is high for a ball outside. Count even at 1-1.
And the longest outing he had all year for his college team was 3 innings against Wilmington back a few months ago.
And the 1-1 even pitch. That is sent right past the second baseman of Rivera. 1 run comes home, 1 right behind him. And Falmouth is now up 2-0. You're in the bottom of the second inning, and something the Harbor Hawks cannot afford.
No, they cannot, and chalk that up to 9 RBI on the season for Hayden Cantrell against the Harbor Hawks. He dominates against Hyannis, and that single driving in 2 runs and really 2 crucial runs for the Commodores, as runs have been hard to come by in this series for both ball clubs.
Sure have. Falmouth matching the same amount of runs they just had last game in 2. Will Brennan now back up. Throws back over to first. Pedro Pedros doesn't even tag him, though. Brennan, the last time he was up, he lined out to Seth Gray. And the pitch going is Cantrell. Throws down to second base. Not in time, but gets past Rivera and Wenzel. And now over to third base was Cantrell, but an awkward slide there just before the bag. That hopped himself up there, and that will be considered a error by Brady Lindsley.
Stolen base and an E2, and just like that, run number 3, 90 feet away from scoring. These games can get away quickly, especially in the playoffs, and Hyannis just needs to shove the wheels back on this thing right now and get out of the inning. It's crucial.
Count at 1-0 to Brennan, and the pitch. That breaking pitch is in the dirt. Good stop by Brady Lindsley, though. Count at 2-0. In a big spot here for the Harbor Hawks. Already down 2-0. Got to stop the bleeding here in the second. Good sizable crowd continuing to file in here at Gulf Fuller Field. 2-0 count in the pitch. That is a breaking pitch that just drops down in the zone for a strike count. Now at 2-1. 2 outs, man over at third. 2-0 already, Falmouth. And the 2-1 pitch. That is just in low. Count it 3-1. Didn't catch the low in outside part of the plate. Count it 3-1. Man still over at third. 2-0 Falmouth. And the 3-1 pitch. That is sent high out to center field. Under it is McIntyre, and he's able to catch it for the third out, but not until the Falmouth Commodores out to a 2-0 lead. The Harbor Hawks will be up in the top of the third. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Simple as that.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Rob Marcello.
Eric Rivera to lead things off in the top of the third inning. This is my solo inning. Chris will join me back in the top of the fourth inning. Hopefully things change here. The Harbor Hawks down 2-0 here from Gulf Filler Field to lead things off. And the pitch from Dyson into Rivera is call a strike. The 0-1 pitch. That is called a strike as well. Rivera has to back himself out of the batter's box here. 0-2 count on Rivera early here to start the top of the third inning. Calls time. Rivera back in the batter's box. 0-2 pitch from Dyson. Sends it foul. Right off the top edge of the barbed wire fence here at Gulf Fuller Field. Count 0-2 and the pitch. That is swing and a miss. Strike three there on a check swing for the first out to start the top of the third. One quickly gone.
Now batting, the catcher from Oklahoma, number 30, Brady Lindsley.
Brady Lindsley now up. After him would be Mitch McIntyre, who was able to make the third out of the inning in the bottom of the second. Pitch from Dyson into Lindsley is in low for a ball. Count 1-0 in Brady Lindsley's favor. The 1-0 pitch. That is sent high up in the air and will go foul. Will land in the woods just behind us here at Gulf Fuller Field. Harbor Hawks in a crucial game here tonight. Falmouth has them on the ropes early, but let's see if Hyannis can come back. 1-1 pitch. That is outside for a ball count now at 2-1. One gone on the top of the third. 2-0 Falmouth. 2-1 pitch. That is a ground ball to the shortstop, and Davidson throws it on to first, a high throw. Volpe able to get it, though, for the second out in the top of the third.
Now batting, center fielder from BYU, number 2, Mitch McIntyre.
Mitch McIntyre now up. The BYU man, a new ad for the Harbor Hawks. Tommy Jew leaves, in goes Mitch McIntyre. Two quickly gone in the top of the third. First pitch into McIntyre is an inside pitch that's called a strike. 0-1 is the count. And the 0-1 pitch. That is outside for a ball count, even at 1-1. Hanley dropped that ball, but quickly gets it back up. Or picks it back up from the ground. No one on base, though, so he doesn't have to worry about anybody advancing. 1-1 pitch. That is a looper that will be sent out to center field and will get down. A 2-out base hit for Mitch McIntyre. Now we'll have the top of the order up with Davis Wenzel.
Now batting,
The second hit on the day for
Davis Wenzel.
the Harbor Hawks. If Wenzel's able to get on, Trevor Hauver is in the on-deck circle. He struck out, and so did Wenzel. 0 for 1 on the day. And the first pitch into Wenzel is a roper sent out to left field, but on to catch it is Will Brennan for the third out. At first looked like it was going to have enough to at least get off the wall, but Wynn quickly brings it down there for the third out for Brennan. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Rob Marcello.
Welcome back to start things off in the bottom of the third inning. Still my solo inning. Chris will join me back at the top of the fourth. Now up is Maverick Hanley. Pitch is fouled off. After him would be Austin Langworthy, then Cam Cannon. Harbor Hawks just trying to keep this at 2-0. 0-1 pitch. That is a bunt down the third baseline. Throws it on to first is Seth Gray. Unable to get him in time. Pedro Pages, though, being able to knock down the ball with his chest to make sure the ball did not advance. There, and a good stop by Pages, because if that gets away from him, he might advance a couple of bases. And a bunt down the line will result in a base hit for Maverick Hanley. 1 for 2 on the day. Austin Langworthy now up. He has a base hit. Responsible for one of the 3 hits today so far for the Falmouth Commodores. Pitcher from last inning still on for the Harbor Hawks. Throws back to first. A slide by Hanley, but not a tag by Pages. Throws back to first again. No slide, no tag. Falmouth up 2-0 here today and up 1-0 in the series. Still no count into Langworthy. 2 throws over by Lamanna. And the first pitch of this at bat is not happening as the home plate umpire calls it just before Lamanna was able to pitch. So fully goes through his motion there. First pitch, in for a strike into Langworthy. Stepping off of first is Hanley, taking a small lead, but Harbor Hawk pitching so far here today, very conscious of guys on bases. 0-1 pitch going is Hanley. Throws down to second base in time, and he is out. A great throw by Brady Lindsley for the first out. In the bottom of the third, a huge out for the Harbor Hawks. As that man would have been in scoring position. Count even at 1-1. And the pitch. That is inside high for a ball. Count at 2-1. One out here in the bottom of the third. 2-0 Falmouth if you're just joining us here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Count at 2-1 in the pitch. That breaking pitch is a swing and a miss. There by Langworthy. After him would be Cam Cannon. 2-2 count even, 1 out. In the pitch from Lamanna into Langworthy. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 for the second out of the inning.
Now batting, the third
Cam
baseman.
Cannon now up. If he's able to get on, Matt Wallner is in the on-deck circle. 2-0 here from Gulf-Fuller Field in Falmouth. Falmouth has 3 hits to Hyannis' 2. And the pitch from Lamanna into Cannon is inside high for a ball. Breaking pitch, unable to drop down in the zone. And Hoodfield, the Harbor Hawks playing at regular depth. 1-0 pitch. That is in low for a ball in the dirt. Good stop by Lindsley. Count at 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. That is outside for a ball. Count now at 3-0 after getting 2 quick outs. Lamanna struggling here a little in the bottom of the third. Count is 3-0. He did let up a base hit, though, but Brady Lindsley with a great throw over to second base. 3-0 pitch. That is called for a strike. Get me over pitch by Lamanna. Count 3-1. And the 3-1 pitch into Cannon. That is sent high up in the air into left center field. On to catch it is Mitch McIntyre for the third out of the inning. Still 2-0 here from Gulf-Fuller Field. The Harbor Hawks will be up in the top of the 4th inning. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Trevor Hoover to lead things off in the top of the fourth inning. Chris, you join me back in the booth.
Hey, Rob.
Dyson still out on the mound for the Commodores. First pitch is outside for a ball. Next pitch is in for a ball, count it 2-0. Thank you for everyone listening tonight here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Count it 2-0. That is outside for a ball. Count it 3-0. A leadoff walk potentially for the Harbor Hawks, trying to cut down this 2-run deficit. Matthew Barefoot's in the on-deck circle. Count it 3-0. Trevor Hoover back in the batter's box, waving his bat behind the helmet. 3-0 pitch. That is an inside pitch. Call the strike. Count it 3-1.
Yeah, Dyson has really been dealing today and hasn't thrown too many pitches either.
3-1 pitch. That is high for ball 4. And a leadoff walk for the Harbor Hawks has them in business with the Cape Cod League MVP now up in Matthew Barefoot.
Matthew will have his hands full here. Only 45 pitches thrown on the night for Dyson, and 29 of them strikes.
Very effective. However, taking a lead, a small lead off of first at that. Dyson out of the set. And the first pitch of this at bat is in for a strike, catches the outside part of the plate.
Looks like Coach Gassman is having a word with the umpire now about the fact that the lights have yet to come on here at Gov Fuller Field. Now the home plate umpire just trying to see what's the deal with the lights, because it is starting to get a bit late here, 6:58, and still no lights.
Yeah, still no lights here. Very surprising. Now the lights coming on. 0-1 pitch. That is sent high, foul. Count 0-2 in Dyson's favor. Oh, 2 count. And the pitch. That is high for a ball. Matthew Barefoot didn't think about swinging at that pitch. Count at 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch. That is high for a ball. Count even at 2-2. Even man over at first, taking a small lead is Hoover. 2-2 count. Pitch from Dyson. That's a ground ball to the third baseman. Throws it on to second. Throws it on to first. Not able to pick it, though, is Volpe, and that'll be a fielder's choice. One gone, though, in the top of the fourth.
Yeah, that's a 6-4 fielder's choice on Matt Barefoot. 0 for 2 to start this game, which is unusual for him. I mean, he's somebody who time and time again will be able just to get on base and move guys over. But it just speaks to the effectiveness of Dyson. He has kept the Harbor Hawks off balance all night and kept his velocity on the up and up all night as well.
Pedro Page's now 1 for 1 on the day, able to get a base hit. Last time he was up, Matthew Barefoot taking a lead off of first. And the pitch. That is a fastball high for a ball. Count 1-0. Lights are coming on here at Gov Fuller Field. Coach Chad Gaspino had to ask the Falmouth faithful to be able to turn on the lights. 1-0 pitch. That is sent out to right center field and will get on for another base hit. 2 for 2 on the day is Pedro Pages, and now Todd Lott is up. Last time he was up, sent a screecher. Line right out to the pitcher. He was able to catch it, but drops it, and the man over at second in Pages had to advance and got doubled off.
Yeah, and that ball that Pedro just hit was hanging in the air for a good while. It looked like Matt Wallner or either the center fielder Langworthy might have been able to come over and grab it midair. So Matt Barefoot had to pause up between first and second for a good while, and I think it cost him the chance to go from first to third.
Sure could have. First pitch into Lott is Roper down the right field line. That will be foul. There, Matthew Barefoot was already halfway between the second base and third base. By the time that pitch even got down, was moving pretty quickly.
Again, yeah, I mean, that looked like one that was going to get down in a hurry, but it just careened foul.
Count it 0-1 to Todd Lott. And the pitch. That is sent high up in the air out to right field. Under it to be able to catch it is Wallner for the second out of the inning. Runners do not advance, though. Lott now on the day, 0 for 2. Seth Gray now up.
Now batting, the third baseman from Wright State, number 18, Seth Gray.
Seth Gray 0 for 1 on the day. Last time he was up, he grounded out to the second baseman to end the inning in the top of the second. If he is able to get on, Eric Rivera would be up. Tyson in the set. First pitch into Seth Gray with 2 outs. Runners at first and second. The pitch. That is in for a strike. Seth Gray letting the home plate umpire know he didn't like that pitch. Seth Gray last night got rung up a couple of times. Trying to get a clutch hit here, something he's done later in the year. That next pitch outside for a ball. Count even at 1-1. And over at first and second, 2 outs. In the top of the fourth inning, 2-0 Falmouth, if you're joining us. And the 1-1 pitch. That is outside for a ball. Count now at 2-1. Dyson throwing a lot more pitches, Chris, in this fourth inning than most of the innings he's pitched.
It's been a laborious one for him for sure. I mean, there's someone at second base. Hyannis hasn't been able to get too many guys out there so far.
2-1 pitch. That is called a strike outside. Part of the plate there. Count even at 2-2. Not giving Seth Gray any inside pitches as the Orleans Firebirds learned that one as they threw an inside pitch to him, and he was able to hit a 2-run home run to be able to give the Harbor Hawks a lead. The next pitch goes off the catcher's glove of Hanley. Now runners at full count, 3-2 over at second and third. With a base hit here from Seth Gray, he could tie this one.
He absolutely could. And Seth, with the power he kind of has locked up in that swing, could possibly score both of these guys. And I mentioned that Matt Barefoot was one of very few people to actually make the second base today. He was the first man to get past first base for the Harbor Hawks today. Now he's standing on third, 90 feet away from cutting the Commodores' lead in half.
3-2 count. 2 outs in the top of the fourth inning. A big spot in this game. The 3-2 pitch. That is a ground ball that will not get past the pitcher. Just throws it on to first in a squandered opportunity for the Harbor Hawks in the fourth inning. It is still 2-0 here from Gov Fuller Field. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Cape destinations.
Magic Media copyright. Magic Media copyright. listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
To start things off in the bottom of the fourth inning, Matt Wallner now up. And the pitch into Matt Wallner is high for a ball. Count at 1-0 in Matt Wallner's favor. Infield for the Harbor Hawks playing at regular depth. 1-0 pitch. Breaking pitch just outside for a ball. Count at 2-0. Harbor Hawks still trail by 2 runs. A squandered opportunity in the top of the fourth. Let's see if the Harbor Hawks can keep this at 2-0. 2-0 pitch. That is a swing and a miss at the breaking ball. 2-1 count. Nobody gone in the bottom of the fourth inning. Count at 2-1. And the pitch. That breaking pitch just catches the outside part of the plate. Count even at 2-2. Action going on in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. And the 2-2 pitch into Matt Wallner. That is sent out to right field and will get down off the wall. And will be a ground rule double for Matt Wallner in a man scoring position. Trevor Harvard tried to dive for the ball there, but unable to get it.
Realistically smart of Trevor to try and stay in front of the baseball. I mean, it was just too well hit for him to get in front of it and keep it from going out of the yard. But still, if he dives and that thing maybe goes off the top of the wall, he misses it, that means a triple for Matt Wallner, who is on his horse over to second.
And Chad Gassman is going to come out, and a new pitcher will come on for the Harbor Hawks with a man in scoring position for the Falmouth Commodores. 2-0 here from Gov Filler Field. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media. Back to Chad Gassman making all the right moves on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Welcome back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Zach Cohn now up. Logan Davidson now up. Cohn from Central Michigan. The Chippewas. Manning scoring position. Logan Davidson. Up to bat the pitch. That fastball is inside low for a ball, almost in the dirt, but good stop by Brady Lindsley. And the 1-0 pitch from Zach Cohn into Logan Davidson. That is a ball count now at 2-0. Zach Cohn, haven't seen him in a while, Chris, but trying to come out of here, trying to keep this at a 2-run deficit.
Gave Hyannis length the last time we did see him, though, on July 31st in Bourne, or against Bourne.
And the 2-0 pitch. The next pitch is lined out just past the first base coach for the Falmouth Commodores. It will land right near the fans. Little kid able to get that baseball. As the fans clap for the kid. Runner over at second, taking a small lead. Wenzel covering him. Seth Gray playing in. And the 2-1 pitch. That is muscled off for a foul ball. Just catches the part right at the start of the barrel and the end of the knob. Count even at 2-2. Nobody out in the bottom of the fourth. 2-0 Falmouth. If you're joining us. Still taking a lead off a second is the man over there. Taking a small lead, though, knowing Wenzel's right behind him. 2-2 pitch. The next pitch is sent out to center field. Is McIntyre able to catch it? That runner from second is going to advance to third. And there is now one out in the bottom of the fourth inning, but a runner at third.
Well, I think the fact that Logan Davidson stayed in the yard there is a win for Zach Cohn and almost got out. That really chased McIntyre, back towards the wall. He was able to make the catch, though, has a good amount of speed. And then Matt Wallner tagging and going to third base from second quite easily. So Cohn able to keep it in the yard and finally getting out for Hyannis.
Eddie Julian now up. Last time he was up, he walked. He came around to score as well. First pitch, in for a strike. Quickly up, 0-1 in the count is Zach Cohn, trying to keep this at a 2-run deficit. Falmouth already 4 hits on the evening. 0-1 pitch. That is inside for a ball. Count even at 1-1. Infield for the Harbor Hawks playing in.
Runner on third base, still the responsibility of Brandon Lamanna. His line still open.
1-1 pitch. That is inside for a ball this time. Count now at 2-1.
Lamanna pitched an inning and 2/3, gave up 3 hits. No earned runs as of yet. But again, Wallner's his problem. He had a ground rule double to lead off this inning.
Count at 2-1. Zach Cohn trying to get out of this one. 2-1 pitch. That is called a strike. Count even at 2-2. One out man over at third. Infield playing in for the Harbor Hawks. A ground ball to any of them would result a throw at home if they have enough time. Count even at 2-2. And the pitch. That is a swing and a miss. Strike 3 for the second out. A huge out there for Zach Cohn now. The infield for the Harbor Hawks will be playing at regular depth.
Well, Zach Cohn has really enjoyed the rhythm of being a starter this year for sure. He's definitely been a different pitcher since coming out of the mound to start games. But today, he's picked up and really helped Hyannis calm things down here in the bottom of the fourth.
Alex Volpe, first pitch in for a strike. Zach Cohn in a big spot. Harbor Hawks already down 2-0 with their season on the line tonight. And the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss at that fastball by Zach Cohn. Cohn 1 strike away from getting out of this one. A huge spot for the Harbor Hawks. Infield back for the Harbor Hawks as with 2 outs. 0-2 pitch. That is just outside for the ball. Cohn tried to go to the dugout, thinking it was strike 3. Count at 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch. That is in low for a ball outside. Count even at 2-2. Man over at third is Wallner, taking a small lead off of third. And the 2-2 pitch. Did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 3. A great job by Zach Cohn to be able to get that third out. The Harbor Hawks will be up in the top of the fifth. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. In combination with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and Ocean Street Studios comes a brand new show bringing you everything Harbor Hawk. This is Birds the Word, a comprehensive new way to engage with your favorite summer ball team. I'm your host, Harrison Myers, and every Thursday until the end of the 2018 Cape League season, we'll bring you everything Harbor Hawk. Interviews with players and coaches, behind-the-scenes tours, and stories you may not have heard about. Make sure you subscribe today so you don't miss any of the action.
Welcome back to start things in the top of the fifth. Eric Rivera is going to lead things off. Dyson still out on the mound for the Commodores.
Yeah, he has just been really impressive all season for Falmouth. I mean, you have to be to come into this game with a 2.36 ERA from the regular season, and he's definitely carried it on here. 3 strikeouts, 3 hits, no earned runs, and only 1 walk to the Harbor Hawks, who have not been able to scrape a run across the scoreboard yet.
From Florida Atlantic, number 1, Eric Rivera.
Brady Lindsley would be up after Rivera. 2-0 here from Go Fuller Field. Harbor Hawks finding a hard time to be able to score in this series. Early first pitch is in first strike. Last night's game ended at 2-1, and it is 2-0. Falmouth here to start the top of the fifth inning. In the pitch, that is outside for a ball. Count even at 1-1 to Eric Rivera. 1-1 count. And the pitch. That is inside for a ball. Count now at 2-1. Brady Lindsley on the on-deck circle. 2-1 pitch. That is inside as well. Rivera had to back out of him way, and now it's a count at 3-1. Rivera with some speed for sure. If he's able to get on base, Chris, got to think about making him steal a bag.
Absolutely.
3-1 pitch. That is inside. Ball 4. And for the second straight inning, a leadoff walk.
Catcher from Oklahoma, number 30, Brady Lindsley.
And you mentioned Eric Rivera with some potent base stealing power. He is the only player on the Harbor Hawks left on the ball club with double-digit steals since Tommy Jew has been out over the last couple of days. 11 on the regular season for Rivera.
Still no action for the Falmouth Commodores out in their bullpen. Taking the lead off of first is Rivera. And the pitch. That is in for a strike for Brady Lindsley. Count 0-1 in Dyson's favor, who so far today has had his way with the Harbor Hawks. And the 0-1 pitch. That is outside for a ball. Tried to throw back to first was Hanley there, but just pump faked, and Rivera had to go right back. 1-1 even pitch into Brady Lindsley. That is a ball inside low, almost gets past Hanley, but a good stop. Rivera back to first, being covered there by Volpe. 2-0 here, Falmouth. Harbor Hawks trying to cut into this lead. 2-1 pitch. That is outside for a ball. 3-1 count. Dyson in a little trouble here in the top of the fifth. 3-1 count. And the pitch from Dyson. That is outside ball for back-to-back walks. Now we'll have Mitch McIntyre up at the plate.
Good at bat right there from Brady Lindsley. And now Jeff Trundy in a bit of a pickle. 70 pitches from Dyson. And the gap has closed a little bit. He's thrown 40 balls. He's thrown 40 strikes to 30 balls.
The pitching coach for the Falmouth Commodores on to talk to Tyler Dyson, while Coach Polk and Coach Chad Gassman talking to Mitch McIntyre. Here, a big spot now late in this game, really, when you think about the 5th inning on, is considered late in the game. The home plate umpire quickly going to break up this conversation.
Well, Mitch McIntyre's been solid for Hyannis since making his debut. He cracked the lineup, was hitting in the 9th spot yesterday, and had himself a 1-for-2 day with a sacrifice bunt. And already started off today with a hit, so he's been capable with the bat in his hands, coming off of a very strong season for the DC Grays down in the Cal Ripken League.
Runners at first and second. Nobody out in the top of the 5th inning. 2-0 Falmouth. Looks back over to second base. Rivera quickly goes back. Playing in is the 3rd baseman and 1st baseman of the Commodores. Knowing McIntyre's probably going to bunt. Looks back, and that's considered a ball. McIntyre wasn't going to offer up that one. Almost got past Maverick Hanley. Wenzel in the on-deck circle. One-0 count. And the pitch. That is high for a ball. Count now at 2-0. Dyson struggling here mightily in the 5th inning. Count at 2-0. Runners at 1st and 2nd. And the pitch. That is called a strike inside. Count at 2-1. Starting to go on in the Falmouth Commodores bullpen. Count at 2-1, and the pitch. That is a bunt that will go foul. Almost caught it by a fan in the stands. But just catching it off the fingertips, unable to catch it. Count even at 2-2. Wenzel is in the on-deck circle. And the 2-2 pitch. That is a ground ball that will not get past the shortstop. Throws it on to second. He's able to get out, but runners at the corners here for Davis Wenzel.
Little 6'4" fielder's choice to Mitch McIntyre, who makes his way over to first base. And no loss for speed on the base pass for the Harbor Hawks right now. Rivera, again, with the 11 stolen bases. And Mitch McIntyre, he's been plug and play at center field for the Harbor Hawks and has covered a lot of ground early on. So it's a very good position for Hyannis to be in with only a 2-run deficit.
Harbor Hawks with runners at the corners, their best opportunity of the day, and the first pitch. That is called a strike. Curves right back in the inside part of the zone. They looked at first glance that was going to hit Wenzel. Nasty slider in there by Dyson. Count at 0-1. And the pitch going was Rivera. Sends it high out to center field and will not get down. One run comes home, another one right behind him. This score is tied at 2-2. A great hit there by Davis Wenzel. Unable to get it was Langworthy as he went out to dive for the ball, and now it is tied 2-2 with a runner over at second base with Trevor Hoover. Now a clutch hit for Davis Wenzel.
An absolutely clutch hit, and the team's leader in extra base hits coming through again for Hyannis with an extra base hit, getting it right off the wall in center field over the outstretched glove of Langworthy, who looked like he had a beat on it. Excellent hit by Davis.
Trevor Hoover now up man in scoring position. First pitch inside for a ball and an absolute roper there by Wenzel. Langworthy has had to back up a couple of steps to try to be able to catch it, but got past him. 0-1 pitch. That is in the dirt as well. Here, Dyson Getting out of control here in the 5th inning, something we haven't seen from him all evening long. It is 7:26 here in Falmouth.
This game moving by quickly for a bit and now slowing down as Dyson has started to lose his command of the strike zone.
And just like that, the game is tied 2-2. Here in the crowd in Falmouth is stunned. 2-0 pitch. That is way high for a ball and will get past. Hanley, the runner, is now at third here. The infield for the Falmouth Commodores might have to play in. Count is at 3-0, and the Harbor Hawks with a big,
stay off of the warning track.
big inning.
You're in the field of play. Thank you.
.3-0 is the count into Trevor Hauver. And the 3-0 pitch. That is called for ball 4 now. Matthew Barefoot will be up. The MVP here, and with one hit, the Harbor Hawks can take their first lead of this series.
28, Matt Barefoot.
And no one you'd prefer to have over at the plate than Matthew Barefoot right now. I mean, he's the Cape League MVP for a reason.
And Dyson just walks off the mound here. That might be the day for him. But all holds up. We'll just have to see. Still meeting out on the mound. And that will be the day for him. A new pitcher coming on for the Falmouth Commodores. We're going to allow him to get warmed up. Scores tied 2-2 here from Gov Fuller Field. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Logan Reinhardt, the new pitcher for the Falmouth Commodores. Matthew Barefoot up. Runners at the corners, 1 out. The score is tied 2-2 here from Gov Fuller Field and the Harbor Hawks. Putting some damage into the Falmouth Commodores sides. Throws back to first. He'll be safe. Is Trevor Hauver over at first. Matthew Barefoot, the Cape Cod League MVP in a big spot. In the pitch, that is inside low for a ball. If Matthew Barefoot's able to get on, Pedro Pages would be in the on-deck circle, but still with 1 out. Infield playing back for the Commodores. And the 1-0 pitch. That is in low for a strike. Just catching the bottom part of the zone, count even at 1-1. Runners at the corners. 1 out, tie 2-2 here from Gov Fuller Field. Trying to break this tie. And the 1-1 pitch. That is a roper that is caught by the third baseman, throws back to first in time for the third out, and it happens again for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, still tied 2-2. Falmouth will be up in the bottom of the fifth inning. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
100% of the funding for the
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, I'm Chris Lucey. Pedro Pages or Hayden Cantrell, Will Brennan, and Maverick Hanley due up for the Falmouth Commodores here in the bottom of the fifth inning, trying to get their way out of a 2-2 tie. Zach Cohn on the mound. The righty deals first pitch strike. The switch hitting Hayden Cantrell standing at the left side of the plate. Infield, outfield playing straight away on the UL Lafayette Raging Cajun. The 0-1. Called a ball low and away. Count even at a ball and a strike. Cantrell continuing to murder the Harbor Hawks on the season. He's 1 for 1 with a 2 RBI hit in the bottom of the second. Cohn coming to the set and the 1-1. Hacked on and missed for strike 2. Cantrell coming into this game had a .333 batting average in 6 games against the Hawks. And after that 2 RBI hit, has himself 9 RBIs against the Hawks on the season. Cohn taking his time. Now the 1-2. Cut on and a grounder, broken bat over to Seth Gray. He forehands, spins around, throws down to first, and gets Hayden Cantrell down for the first time in the game. 1 away here in the bottom of the fifth. Score still tied at 2.
Nice play there by Seth Gray. Had to make kind of an acrobatic play, swing around like a ballerina, being able to throw on to first for the first out.
Will Brennan now coming up to the left side of the plate against the righty out of Central Michigan. The left fielder out of K-State, 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts. Zach Cohn coming to the set, working from the windup. The first pitch. Cut on and a grounder nubbed up the middle and past the dive of Eric Rivera into center field for a base hit. Mitch McIntyre picks the ball up, relays it in from center, stopping over at first base, Brennan. And that is his first hit of the evening. 1 away and 1 man on first base here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Still a 2-2 tie between the Harbor Hawks and the Commodores in Game 2 of the Western Division semifinals. A win or go home game for the Harbor Hawks, and a lose and go to McKeon Park game for the Commodores, who have a 1-0 lead and are gunning for the sweep. Maverick Hanley at the right side of the plate. Now the first pitch. Called a ball low and away from the righty on the mound in Cohn.
And Chris, last inning, a great pitch by Zach Cohn, being able to not allow that run to come across. Because if that run came across, Falmouth would still be in the lead.
Cohn coming to the set and the 1-0. Called a ball low and away. Count now advances to 2 balls and no strikes. And I agree with you, Rob. It was definitely a very clutch situation that Cohn came into and was able to find Hyannis out of, getting 3 outs in the bottom of the fourth as the 2-0 floats low and away for ball 3. Now he needs to find the strike zone again. Was able to get a ground out to start the inning, but missed up and away to Will Brennan, who drilled a single out into center field, and now he's behind 3-0 in the count to Maverick Hanley. The catcher 1 for 2, and the pitch. Called ball 4, high and outside, and that is a walk for the 2018 Danny Silver Award winner for the Commodores. The award given out every year for exceptional sportsmanship. And now Ray Korn out of the Harbor Hawks dugout, the pitching coach having a word with his righty on the mound. Rob, what do you think Coach Korn is talking about with Cone here?
I think he's just telling him to settle down. Anything a normal pitching coach would talk to him about. Normally, every pitching coach just goes out there, tries to calm the guy down, talks about the stuff he's throwing and how he can do a better job.
Well, what Hyannis needs him to do right now is just try and keep the ball down a little bit. You've seen him miss up a couple of times. He missed up to Will Brennan, who got that single, and then, I mean, about as easy of a walk as Maverick Hanley could get right there. Didn't even see a single strike in that at-bat. Took a free 90 feet without even having to move his bat whatsoever. And now the meeting adjourns. Ray Korn on his way back to the third base dugout. Home plate umpire Tom Carey coming out to break out the caucus. Austin Langworthy back at the plate. Left-handed hitting center fielder out of the University of Florida is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. 2-2 tie here. Hyannis trying to keep the deadlock in place for their half of the 6th inning. Heart of the order due up for the Harbor Hawks in the next frame, and a first pitch strike from Cone after the meeting from Ray Korn. Runners on first and second. Brennan on second with a single, and Maverick Hanley moved him over there with a walk. Cone working from the stretch and the 0-1. Called a strike over the heart of the plate. Count now 0-2. And the thing a lot of starting pitchers struggle with is moving from the windup to the stretch, but Cone, a reliever for the most part at CMU and a reliever for a good part of the Cape League summer, has no problem coming into a game in a tough situation and then having to throw his windup to the side. 0-2 the count on Langworthy. The pitch. Called a ball high and outside. A little bit of a waste pitch. Brady Lindsley had to lunge out from behind home plate to make the catch, and then throw back to Zach Cone. The lights are on here at Gov Fuller Field. 2-2 is your score. 1-2 count on Austin Langworthy. Runners on first and second, infield double play depth, and the pitch hacked on and roped past the Harbor Hawks dugout. Foul. A couple of players had to duck down quickly to get out of the way. Count remains 1-2. Sean Manfredo, Harbor Hawks assistant coach, out from the bullpen to get the ball out of the field of play. The infield restored to double play depth. Middle infielder shaded up towards the second base bag. And the outfield, no doubles defense. Everybody pushed back towards the wall. The 1-2 pitch. Called a ball just low and inside. Count now 2-2. It's a beautiful night here in Falmouth. Game 2 of the Western Division semifinals coming to you on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. And it's as tight as could be. A 2-2 draw as we speak right now. The 2-2. Bouncer. Nice block from Lindsley. Count now 3-2. And this next pitch will be an interesting one. Cam Cannon in the on-deck circle is a Harbor Hawk killer this year. And he could come up with the bases loaded and only one away if Cone is unable to find a strike. The 3-2. Hacked on and roped foul behind home. Count remains 3-2. Everybody advancing on the pitch, but has to retreat.
A big out here for Zach Cone if he's able to get it, because then Cantrell will be up with 2 outs. If not, the bases will be loaded with 1 out. And as you said, Cantrell's been a Harbor Hawk killer all year.
Cam Cannon actually in the on-deck circle. 3-2 the count. Cone coming to the set. The righty dealing to the lefty. Taking his time and fires. And he throws ball 4 low and inside. Zach Cone just barely missing the spot and letting the home plate umpire Tom Carey know what he thinks. Bases juiced. Nowhere to put Cam Cannon. And now Chad Gassman possibly coming out of the dugout to take his righty out of the game. There's been some activity in the Harbor Hawks pen. And the slow walk continues for the Harbor Hawks skipper. The whole infield is coming in, and so is a new pitcher. Dylan Thomas coming in from the Harbor Hawks bullpen, the closer for our Hyannis, coming in to close out a sticky situation. Bases loaded and only one away here in the bottom of the fifth inning. We'll step aside quickly, but come back with what could be the conclusion of this inning in just a few moments while Dylan Thomas warms up on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We took a break while Dylan Thomas got warmed up, and we didn't think we'd miss too much on the broadcast here, but
we did.
We have a little news to report. Chad Gassman tossed from the game, arguing balls and strikes with home plate umpire Tom Carey as he left the mound to take out Zach Coney. Had a few words with the home plate umpire, and things escalated from there, and now Chad will have to listen to this game from afar, likely here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, to keep in touch with his ball club, as now Dylan Thomas comes into the game for Hyannis, the league leader in saves and the reliever of the year in the Cape Cod League. This game is in about as good of hands as it could possibly be, considering that their bases loaded. A 2-2 tie is hanging in the balance, and there's only one away here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Dylan with a 1.19 ERA in 17 games pitched in the regular season, 22 2/3 innings, 33 strikeouts, only 2 walks. Cam Cannon at the right side of the plate against the righty out of the University of Hawaii. Bases loaded, one away here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Lights on at Gov Fuller Field, and the pitch. Called a strike over the outer half of the plate. A nice breaking ball from Dylan Thomas. Puts him ahead of the count 0-1. A facetious round of applause rising from the Harbor Hawks faithful down the third base line for Tom Carey, the 0-1. Cut on and fisted high and likely foul down the left field line. That thing gets out of play in a hurry, and the count is 0-2. Bases still loaded here, Rob, and with Dylan Thomas on the mound, you're not too concerned, but regardless, losing your manager in a possible elimination game is going to be a tough hurdle for the Harbor Hawks to climb. The 0-2. Hacked on and missed for strike 3. Cam Cannon swinging over that thing in the dirt, and there's 2 away in the bottom of the fifth.
Now batting, the right fielder from Southern Mississippi, number 44, Matt Wallner.
A big strikeout there for Dylan Thomas, still with the bases loaded. Here, if the Harbor Hawks can get out of this one, a huge win for the Harbor Hawks.
Matt Wallner at the left side of the plate against the righty. He's 1 for 2 with a double. Bases loaded. The pitch. Called a ball, low and inside. Count advances to 1-0. Langworthy's on first. Hanley's on second, and Brennan on third. A single and 2 walks, putting those guys on the 1-0. Hacked on and missed for strike 1. Wallner in an even count right now. Right fielder out of Southern Mississippi. Dylan Thomas coming to the set. The Cape League leader in saves. 1-1. Called a strike over the inner half of the plate. And the count to 1-2. It's not a save situation right now, but it would sure feel like Dylan Thomas is saving the Harbor Hawks here. A 2-2 tie, hanging in the balance with the bases loaded. Thomas came in with only one away here in the bottom of the fifth. And the 1-2 pitch. Bouncer and a nice block from Lindsley. Count now 2-2. Good waste pitch right there from Thomas, but Wallner not biting. Thomas to the set. The 2-2. Another bouncer. Lindsley with another stop, and the count advances to full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Dylan Thomas a strike away from ending the threat or surrendering the lead to the Falmouth Commodores here in Game 2 of the Western Division Semifinals. Win or go home for the Harbor Hawks. And everybody on their feet here at Gov Fuller Field. Time called by Matt Wallner. And now the left-handed hitter steps back to the plate. The 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Tom Carey rings up Matt Wallner with the bases loaded, and the threat is extinguished here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1 hit and 2 walks loaded the bases, and a pair of strikeouts for Dylan Thomas ends the threat and strands all 3 of those guys on base. No errors, no runs scored. This game still knotted up at 2. And now we head to the top of the 6th. Pedro Pages, Todd Lott, and Seth Gray, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for Hyannis when we get back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Chris Lucey.
Pedro Pages, Todd Lott, and Seth Gray due up for Hyannis here in the top of the 6th inning. This game knotted at 2 after Dylan Thomas came on in a bases-loaded situation in the bottom of the 5th and then proceeded to record 2 strikeouts to get Hyannis out of a sticky situation. Now Hyannis trying to get out of this tie with Pedro Pages at the right side of the plate, and the pitch. Breaking ball called for a strike. Count 0-1 on Pedro. Wind up and the 0-1. Called a ball high and outside. Logan Reinhardt out of Cal Baptist on the mound for the Falmouth Commodores. Pedro Pages 2 for 2 today with a pair of singles. The 1-1. Hacked on and missed at a low breaking ball. Count now 1-2. Packed house here at Gov Fuller Field for Game 2 of the Western Division Semifinals. Falmouth with a 1-0 lead, meaning it's win or go home in the best of 3 series for the Harbor Hawks. The 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3, high and outside. Pedro Pages goes down looking, and there's 1 away here in the top of the 6th. Todd Lott up to the plate now for the Harbor Hawks. He's 0 for 2 today. Came into this game 5 for 16 against the Falmouth Commodores. Chalk him up to 5 for 18 right now, but he's knocked in 4 runs and walked twice against the Commodores in the season series. Steps up to the right side of the plate. And Reinhardt comes to the set. From the windup, he deals. A pitch that's cut on and grounded right back to him on a one-hopper. He forehands it, underhands the ball over to the first baseman, Volpe. And there's quickly 2 away here in the top of the 6th inning. Seth Gray striding up to the left side of the plate now. 2 away in the top of the 6th. The 2-2 tie still in place here at Gov Fuller Field. Deuces wild right now, 2 away. And it's game 2 of the Western Division semifinals. Seth Gray hitless in his last 12 at-bats. Looking for a piece here. The first pitch from the righty, cut on and fisted high in the air out towards left field. Running catch from Brennan in the gap, and the side goes down 1-2-3 here in the top of the 6th inning. No hits, no runs, nobody left on base. And we go now to the bottom of the 6th. Logan Davidson, Edward Julian, and Alex Volpe do up the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Commodores, coming to bat in just a moment here on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Logan Davidson, Edward Julian, and Alex Volpe due up to face Dylan Thomas in his 2nd inning of work. This game still tied at 2 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Good evening, everybody. I'm Chris Lucey. The Western Division semifinals underway here in Game 2 from Falmouth. Logan Davidson, the switch hitter, picking the left side of the plate against the righty, who kicks and deals strike 1 over the outer half of the plate. Davidson, known by many in this league as a likely top 10 pick in next year's MLB draft. The 0-1. Called strike. Nice little breaking ball over the outer half of the plate from Thomas. Davidson has yet to get his first hit of the game. Walked and scored in the bottom of the 2nd and flew out in the bottom of the 4th. Behind in an 0-2 count right now against the best reliever on Cape Cod. The 0-2. Called a ball low and away. Count now 1-2. When you use superlatives like best, you might just take it as hometown bias, but it has literally been decided by the league. Dylan Thomas, the 2018 reliever of the year in Cape Cod. The 1-2 cut on in a chopper over towards Eric Rivera at second base. He backhands at chest level, throws across to Pedro Pages, and there's 1 away in the bottom of the 6th. This game still knotted at 2.
Now batting, the designated hitter from
A time-tested battery over on the right side of the infield right now. Eric Rivera and Pedro Pages grew up in the suburbs of Miami, and they've played baseball together since they were about 12 years old. They also roomed together their freshman year at Florida Atlantic University. Edward Julian at the left side of the plate now. Designated hitter tonight out of Auburn. First pitch he sees is a ball low and inside. Infield playing pretty much straight away, although Davis Wenzel, the shortstop, is shaded up the middle, close to the second base bag on the outfield grass. The 1-0. Called a strike low and inside. And the count now 1-1 on the breaking pitch from Thomas. No doubles defense still from the Harbor Hawks outfielders. Everybody pushed back towards the wall. 1-1 from Thomas. Cut on and grounded up the middle. A nice backhand pick by Eric Rivera. He throws on to first across his body to make the play. And those are 2 4-3 ground outs to start off the bottom of the 6th inning and keep this game knotted up at 2. Dylan Thomas working efficiently. Thrown 11 strikes to 5 balls in 16 pitches in the 2 innings that he's thrown so far. Alex Volpe at the right side of the plate, and the pitch, ball low and away. First baseman out of Holy Cross, 0 for 2 so far, with a ground out and a strikeout. The 1-0 from Thomas. Breaking ball, a called strike, high and tight. 1-1 the count on the Hawaii Rainbow Warrior. 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The 1-1. Act on and miss for strike 2. And now Dylan Thomas, strike away from getting out of here with minimal effort. He's faced the minimum that he's been required to so far in his outing for the Harbor Hawks after coming on with 1 away in the bottom of the 5th. The 1-2. Called a ball low and away. Count now 2-2. Off speed pitch, just missing its spot. The infield returning to straight away right now. Dylan Thomas kicks the 2-2 from the windup. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 5 men come up and 5 men go down. 3 by way of the K against Dylan Thomas. In only 5 batters faced, he's struck out 3, and he's allowed nobody to get on base. This game still knotted at 2, going to the top of the 7th when Eric Rivera, Brady Lindsley, and Mitch McIntyre will come to the plate. The 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Harbor Hawks. When we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, do not go anywhere. Game 2 of the Western Division Series getting interesting from Falmouth.
Fans, don't forget about our tire toss and bag.
Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Lyle Goldstein and Chris Lucey.
Chris Lucey joining you here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Eric Rivera, Brady Lindsley, and Mitch McIntyre, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, due up for Hyannis, trying to break a 2-2 deadlock in Game 2 of the Western Division semifinals here from Gov Fuller Field. Eric at the right side of the plate. The righty Reinhardt back out for another inning of work. He winds and fires. Called strike on the fastball, outside and high. Count now 0-1. Eric has yet to get a hit today. 0 for 1 with a walk. The 0-1 pitch. Cut on and sliced foul. Gets down the first base line, out of play. Eric was busy in the previous inning, playing second base for the 2nd time this season today, and picked up 2 4-3 putouts in the bottom half of the 6th. Had to move around a good deal as well, the 0-2. Cut on and a grounder over towards second base at one hops Cantrell, who fields forehand side, flips down to first base, and gives Eric Rivera a taste of his own medicine to start the top of the 7th inning. A 4-3 putout brings up Brady Lindsley with 1 away. The game still tied at 2 in the Western Division semifinals. Falmouth leads the series 1-0, so it's win or go home for Hyannis. The series a best of 3, but the Harbor Hawks with the 2 seed in the West will take this thing back to McKeon Park tomorrow if they can scrape out a win here. Brady Lindsley at the left side of the plate, taking ball 1 low and away from the righty out of Cal Baptist. Brady 0 for 1 with a walk, the 1-0. Cut on and grounded up the middle. This one gets over to Davidson, the shortstop from Clemson. Fields fires low across the diamond, but a nice pick by Volpe to get Brady Lindsley for out number 2 in the top of the 7th.
The center fielder from BYU, number 2, Mitch McIntyre.
Mitch McIntyre up to the plate now for the Harbor Hawks, coming off of a stellar season for the DC Grays in the Cal Ripken League with 2 away here in the top of the 7th inning. He's 1 for 2 today with a single and a fielder's choice. The first pitch. Ball low and away. McIntyre standing at the left side of the plate against the righty in Reinhardt. The limited sample size for McIntyre at BYU this year, the 1-0. Called a ball low and away. Count now 2-0. McIntyre played in 35 games, only got 130 at-bats. Hit 254 in that time, but didn't really get to figure things out. The 2-0 cut on and grounded foul third base side. Hops into the Harbor Hawks dugout. Didn't really get to figure things out. Didn't get to face any lefties on the year, so only batted 254. The 2-1. Called a ball high and outside, and the count now advances to 3-1. Fast forward to the summer, and McIntyre's playing every day for the Grays, where he hit 336 and 137 at-bats, and he swings at the 3-1 and hits a high pop-up over towards center field. Langworthy settling under it at the track, makes the catch in the shadows just in front of the wall for out number 3. And the top of the 7th goes 1, 2, 3 for the Harbor Hawks. Bottom of the 7th with the bottom and top of the order due up for the Commodores. Hayden Cantrell, Will Brennan, and Maverick Hanley to come to the plate for Falmouth. When we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Chris Lucey.
The Falmouth Commodores lead the Western Division semifinals 1-0, but they don't lead game 2 here from Falmouth. 2-2 the score, tied up here in the bottom of the 7th with Hayden Cantrell, Will Brennan, and Maverick Hanley due up to try and snatch the lead in this game, and they have their work cut out for them. Dylan Thomas still on the mound. Lefty at the plate, the righty deals. First pitch strike. Hayden Cantrell, a switch hitter, picking the left-hand side. Everybody playing back for the Harbor Hawks except Seth Gray up the third base line. The 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball just misses. High in sight, count now 1-1. Seth is on the infield grass, whereas Wenzel, Rivera, and Pages are each almost on the outfield grass. The 1-1. Breaking ball for another strike. Darting over the outer half of the plate. Cantrell added a 2 RBI single in the bottom of the 2nd, but grounded out to third base in the bottom of the 5th. Down 1-2 to Thomas, who kicks and deals. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dylan Thomas starts off the bottom of the 7th inning the only way he is known how today. A strikeout, number 4 on the game for Dylan Thomas. And if you haven't struck out today against Dylan Thomas, you probably grounded out to second base. 4 strikeouts and 2 groundouts to second to start off this game for the reliever out of Hawaii. Will Brennan up to the left side of the plate. The righty kicks and fires. A pitch that's cut on in line to Eric Rivera. He dives. He can't make the play. And the ball trickles into right field. Trevor Hopper quick to scoop it up. And Will Brennan with a single with 1 away here in the bottom of the 2nd. Or the 7th, excuse me. Maverick Hanley coming to the plate. He's at the left side, or the right side, excuse me. Runner on first base in Brennan at a 1-out single. The game is tied at 2. Dylan Thomas on the mound. Infield now at double play depth, looking for a twin killing. Snap throw over to first base, and Brennan scurries in safely. Dylan Thomas with a bone to pick against this Falmouth Commodores ball club. Comes to the set and deals the first pitch to Hanley. A pitch that's hacked on and missed for strike 1. Of all the teams in the Cape that Thomas has faced, he's faced just about all of them. This, the Commodores, is the only Cape League team that he has allowed multiple earned runs to on the season. The 0-1. Runner goes, hacked on and missed. Throw down to second base, draws Davis Wenzel off the bag, and sliding in safely, Will Brennan has a steal. Eric Rivera actually fielding the ball over on the left side of the second base bag, but pulled off on the errant throw from Lindsley. Good jump on the ball right there from Brennan, but an 0-2 count now on Hanley. Catcher out of Stanford. 1 for 2 today with a single and a walk. Grounded out to third base in the bottom of the first. Got the single in the bottom of the third. The walk in the bottom of the fifth. Runner on second base. 0-2 count on the Stanford Cardinal. The pitch. Bouncer. Nice stop by Lindsley. Chests it up and relays it back to Thomas. Brennan staying put over at second base. The left fielder out of K-State. Played in the Alaska League last year. It's on the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Great summer baseball team name right there. The 1-2. Hacked on and missed at a slider for strike 3. Dylan Thomas fooling Maverick Hanley, making him look foolish. And there's 2 away here. Strikeout number 5 for Dylan Thomas, who has been dealing through his limited work so far. Now up to the plate, Austin Langworthy. And it's going to be an intentional walk. Dylan Thomas getting the pitch out sign from Brady Lindsley. Langworthy is 1 for 2 today with a single and a strikeout. He also walked. But the coaching staff for the Harbor Hawks not taking any chances. Cam Cannon coming up next after Langworthy. Cannon coming from the right side, so likely just trying to play the matchup with handedness there rather than face the lefty Langworthy against the righty Thomas. Will have most of his breaking stuff taken away from him against a left-handed hitter, as it'll be breaking towards him rather than away from him. But Cannon's someone that has really torched the Harbor Hawks this season. Despite the 0 for 3 so far today, he's batting .389 on the regular season against Hyannis. 18 at-bats, 7 hits. Only struck out 3 times in that stretch, drove in 3 runs. And this game knotted up at 2. So Cannon is able to return to the mean bad news for the Harbor Hawks. Runners on first and second. Cannon at the right side of the plate, and the pitch high in sight for ball 1. 2 away here, bottom of the 7th. Game 2 of the Western Division semifinals coming down to the wire. Thank you for joining us here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Thomas to the set. Looks back, the runner at second, and deals the 1-0. A pitch that's cut on and fisted high in the air out towards left field. Matthew Barefoot back to the wall, looking up. Is he making the catch? Yes, he is on the wall. Matthew Barefoot extends his glove and keeps the ball from going out of the yard. And Cam Cannon getting just about all of that baseball, but not enough to get it past Matthew Barefoot. 1 hit and 1 walk strands 2 men on base, but no errors and no runs score. And this game is still knotted at 2, going to the top of the 8th inning, where the Harbor Hawks send the top of the order to the plate. Davis Wenzel, Trevor Hover, and Matthew Barefoot due up for Hyannis when we return on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Back with Robert Marcello here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. I'm Chris Lucey. Top of the 8th inning, still a 2-2 score in Game 2 of the Western Division semifinals. Logan Reinhardt dealing a first pitch strike to Davis Wenzel, who will be followed up by Trevor Hauver and Matthew Barefoot. Davis at the right side of the plate. Reinhardt, the righty, kicking in, dealing the 0-1. Off-speed offering for a ball low and away. Davis was in the midst of a tough campaign against the Commodores until he was able to break out of his funk with a double in the top of the 5th. The 1-1 pitch, called a ball high and outside. Count 2-1. Davis in 23 at-bats going into this game. The 2-1. Called a ball low and away. Count 3-1. He was only able to muster 3 hits, striking out 7 times, batting only 130 against the Commodores. The 3-1. Called a strike low and away, and the count now runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Davis Wenzel drove in both of the game's runs for the Harbor Hawks in the top of the 5th with that double, bringing in Eric Rivera and Mitch McIntyre, now the 3-2. Cut on and a grounder up the middle towards Logan Davidson. The shortstop fields glove side, throws across the diamond, and gets Matt Barefoot, or Davis Wenzel, excuse me, for out number 1 here in the top of the 8th.
Wenzel with great speed over from the home plate bag all the way over to the first base bag. Logan Davidson had to rush his throw just a little bit.
Trevor Hauver now coming to the plate for Hyannis. 0 for 1 with a pair of walks, but he struck out in the top of the 1st. He's at the left side against the righty Reinhardt. No activity in the Commodores bullpen. The pitch, called a ball high and outside. Trevor still looking for his first knock of the game. Trying to knock Hyannis out of a 2-2 deadlock. The 1-0. Called a ball low and away. Trevor taking his time at the plate. Count now 2-0. The 2-0 from Reinhardt. Called a strike around hip level, just over the inner half of the plate. Nice breaking ball. Count now 2-1. The big thing about this season for Hauver has been confidence, the 2-1. Hacked on and missed for strike 2. Wasn't really an everyday player at ASU this year, his home college, and hasn't been an everyday player for Hyannis either. But the way he's been able to play in his opportunities has given him a lot of confidence going forward, the 2-2. Called a ball high and outside. Count runs full now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Trevor finishing up the regular season with a .267 batting average against some of the best competition in the nation. The 3-2. Foul tip and a swing through for strike 3. Second strikeout of the game for Trevor Hauver is the second out here in the top of the 8th inning.
Trevor Hauver unable to catch up to that outside pitch for strike 3. Now Matthew Barefoot up. Let's see if he's able to get on.
Matthew Barefoot able to get on once in this game, but still without a hit. He's 0 for 3. Got all the way to 3rd in the top of the 4th on a fielder's choice, and he hacks and misses at a breaking ball to start off his confrontation with Reinhardt. Still a 2-2 tie here. Top of the 8th inning. 0-1 count on Matthew Barefoot, the league MVP, the 0-1. Bouncer gets away from Hanley, but no harm, no foul. The bases are empty. Double play depth from the infield. Everybody expecting Matthew Barefoot to pop one, but no one really playing to the pull side. The 1-1. Cut on and tapped foul behind home. Count now 1-2, which is interesting to say because Matthew Barefoot's spray charts on Point Street clearly show he is a pull hitter. Third baseman in Cannon now starting to move his way a little up the third base line, but still essentially straight away. Now the 1-2. Hacked on and missed for strike 3. Logan Reinhardt gets a 1-2-3 top of the 8th inning for the Commodores and sends up Matt Wallner, Logan Davidson, and Edward Julian, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Commodores to try and break this 2-2 deadlock when we get back in just a moment here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Media copyright. Magic Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Rob Marcello and Chris Lucey.
2-2 your score, tied up here in Game 2 of the Western Division semifinals. Here from Falmouth, Matt Wallner, Logan Davidson, and Edward Julian set to face Dylan Thomas. The first pitch called a strike to the left-handed hitting Wallner out of Southern Miss. And the bottom of the 8th inning is underway. A win or go home situation for the Harbor Hawks, and they have their best man on for the job. The 0-1 cut on and a grounder laced up the middle and through for a base hit. Matt Wallner gets a hold of a fastball over the heart of the plate and makes Dylan Thomas pay for it. He squares up around first base with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Dylan Thomas almost thought about getting that with his glove, let it get past him. Thinking Eric Rivera was more shaded over to the shortstop. Unfortunately, that mistake makes him pay as now as a leadoff man's on first.
Right side of the infield, playing to the pull of the left-handed hitting Wallner. Now the switch hitting Logan Davidson at the left side of the plate against the righty Dylan Thomas. Davidson still looking for his first hit. 0 for 2 with a walk. Runner on first. Nobody away here in the bottom of the 8th. A throw over to first base to hold on Wallner. And Davidson, one of the most notorious switch hitters in the country, hit a home run from both sides of the plate, not only in the same game twice, but at one point did it in the same inning in a 17-4 blowout against Notre Dame. The first pitch called a strike over the heart of the plate. Logan Davidson watches it float by. Nice little breaking ball. Count 0-1. Outfielders playing back on Davidson. No surprise there. Seth Gray, however, the third baseman, playing in on the infield grass up the line. The 0-1 from Thomas. Called a ball low and inside. Count now 1-1. No signs of a bunt yet from Logan Davidson. Brett Becker giving him the signs from the third base coaching box for the Falmouth Commodores. This game's still knotted at 2. Nobody away in the bottom of the 8th and a runner on first. Wallner held on by Pages. Double play depth from the rest of the infield and the 1-1. Cut on and lined up the right side through for a base hit. Matt Wallner rounding second base. He's given the hold sign from Becker. Stopping at first base, Logan Davidson puts 2 men on with only nobody away in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Edward Julian stepping up to the plate.
Thomas in a little trouble here after pitching in a long relief appearance that he's normally not used to. We'll have to see what happens here.
Ron Polk now out to the mound for the Harbor Hawks to have a word with Dylan Thomas. This Dylan Thomas's longest outing of the season by far. He's pitched 2 2/3 of an inning. And the longest he's gone in a game all season long was actually a 2 2/3 innings pitched moment in a July 18th win, a 6-5 W over the Wareham Gatemen. But that wasn't actually all in succession because Dylan Thomas came on to pitch part of the game and was taken out. But then that game came under protest by Don Sneddon. And Dylan Thomas, although he really only pitched 1 inning in that game, had to come back in and then throw the remaining inning and 2/3 because things started off in a little bit of a wonky way from 1 man down in the top of the 7th inning. So now the infield retreats to its spots. A little bit of action going on in the Harbor Hawks bullpen right now. 2-2 the score. Runners on first and second with Edward Julian stepping up to the left side against the righty Thomas. The first pitch. Julian shows bunt, pushes it foul down the third base line. 0-1 the count on the Auburn Tiger. 0 for 2 today with a walk. Came around to score on that walk in the bottom of the second. One of 2 runs for the Commodores. They scored both of those runs in the second, just as Hyannis got both of their runs in the top of the 5th. Otherwise, it's been a surprisingly quiet game this season, or this series, really defined by pitching so far. 0-1 from Thomas, another bunt, and it's sucked back for ball 1. Pedro Pages charging in from first base. Eric Rivera, his longtime teammate, covering over at first for him. The second baseman having some good communication with his former travel ball teammate as a teenager and now his Florida Atlantic teammate during the college season. The 1-1 from Thomas. Another bunt. It's a beauty. Pedro Pages covering, throws on to third base, and the call out from Dave Chasen. Pedro Pages lances the lead runner over at third base, and there's one away here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Great heads up there by Pedro Pages, being able to throw it over third. A timely play for the Harbor Hawks that they needed desperately.
Absolutely. And now Jeff Trundy out for a word with Dave Chasen, the Commodores manager, unhappy with the call. We've already seen the Harbor Hawks skipper Chad Gassman get the heave-ho from this ball game. And now Jeff Trundy out to get his. A packed house here in Falmouth, Massachusetts right now. This game knotted up at 2. Trundy still out there speaking with the third base umpire. Runners remain on first and second. Matt Wallner, the man called out over at third for the first out of the bottom of the 8th inning. This game a 2-2 tie and an intense one, to say the least. If Hyannis is unable to pull this game out, their season is over. And if the Commodores are unable to eliminate the Harbor Hawks here, they have to go back to Hyannis tomorrow to take on a Harbor Hawks team that will likely have momentum on its side in a game that could possibly eliminate the Falmouth Commodores, as a pinch hitter is coming up in this game for the Falmouth Commodores in Herbert Iser, San Jacinto Community College transfer, playing at Dallas Baptist next year. Runners on first and second, one away, and the first pitch is cut on and grounded foul. 0-1 the count on the backstop. Coming in for Alex Volpe, who wraps up his day at an 0 for 3. Has yet to be seen where Iser will come in the field. 0-1 the count on Iser. One away here, bottom of the 8th inning, a 2-2 tie, but a runner in scoring position. The pitch, cut on, and another one topped over foul. First base line once again. 0-2 the count. Iser, a catcher at San Jacinto Community College. A college mainly known for pitchers, namely Roger Clemens and Andy Pettit, whom both pitched there in the 80s and 90s. The 0-2. Breaking ball just missing high and outside, and the count 1-2. Logan Davidson is on second, and Edward Julian is on first. Davidson reached with a single, and Julian a 3-5 fielder's choice, as the 1-2 is hacked on and missed by Iser for strike 3. 6th strikeout of the evening for Dylan Thomas. 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Hayden Cantrell up to the plate for the Commodores in a massive spot. He's been a Harbor Hawks killer all season. He's driven in 9 runs against Hyannis. 1 for 3 on the day with a 2 RBI single in the bottom of the 2nd. Comes up with runners on first and second. The switch hitter at the left side of the plate. The righty kicks and deals. A pitch in the dirt, swung on and missed for strike 1. Dylan Thomas in the midst of his longest outing of the season for the Harbor Hawks. He's thrown 46 pitches. 0-1 the count. Here's the next one. Called strike inside and low. And Hayden Cantrell has the Commodores down to their final strike, possibly, of the bottom of the 8th inning. Runners on first and second, 2 away. 0-2 count. This game knotted up at 2. Thomas to the set. The 0-2 pitch. Hacked on and missed for strike 3. A weak swing from Cantrell ends the threat here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Strikeout number 7 from Dylan Thomas retires the side. No run score on 2 hits and 2 men left on base. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Pedro Pages, Todd Lott, and Seth Gray up for the Harbor Hawks. Last licks before possible extras here in an elimination game for Hyannis. Win or go home here in the Western Division semifinals. We'll be back in just a moment here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media Copyright. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Chris Lucey and Robert Marcello back at it here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Top of the 9th inning, a 2-2 tie. Pedro Pages, Todd Lott, and Seth Gray due up for Hyannis to try and break this game open and force a decisive Game 3. Logan Reinhardt back out for inning number 4. His first pitch to Pedro. A ball low and away. Righty-righty matchup starting off in advantage to the first baseman out of FAU. 2 for 3 today with a pair of singles. The 1-0. Hacked on and missed for strike 1. Even 1-1 count. Even 2-2 tie on the scoreboard as well here from Gov Fuller Field. A nail-biter. The second nail-biter of this series for that matter. The 1-1. Called a ball low and away. Count now 2-1. Reinhardt in the midst of a laborious inning here. The 2-1. Hacked on and nicked off the backstop. Count now 2-2. I should say a laborious outing generally for Reinhardt. He's thrown 38 pitches in 3 2/3 innings. By far his longest outing of the season. Hasn't gone this long since 2 innings against Wareham on July 26th. Now the 2-2. Hacked on and roped foul. That one getting towards the bullpen for the Commodores. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Todd Lott on deck. And this game still knotted up at 2 runs apiece. Reinhardt to the set. From the windup, he deals the 2-2. Pitch that's chopped on and served foul. Rolls out of play, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. A little bit of action going in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. Wouldn't be surprised to see Dylan Thomas come out for the next inning, but the 2-2. Cut on and a weak swing over towards short. It gets away from Logan Davidson briefly, but he adjusts, fields backhand side, throws across the diamond, and Pedro Pages retired for out number 1 here in the top of the 9th inning.
A rough hop there for Davidson. He was able to recover and get it over in time, but Pedro Pages definitely showing some hustle there, a close play.
A very, very nice play right there for Davidson, and making the throw over to Herbert Iser, who stays in the game in Volpe's spot over at first base. Todd Lott at the right side of the plate now, in the pitch. Hacked on and flipped foul behind home. Count 0-1. Todd still looking for his first hit of the day, 0 for 3 so far with a pair of ground outs to the pitcher. Hit a liner out to today's starter in Dyson, the 0-1. Cut on and roasted foul behind home. Count now 0-2. He had a liner right back to Dyson, but was able to knock the ball down. It's a screecher as well. That would have easily gotten into the outfield had Dyson not fallen off to the right side of the mound. Now the 0-2. Breaking ball called, strike 3, and Todd Lott is livid at the call. Lets Tom Carey know about it, and he goes down looking for out number 2 here in the top of the 9th inning. Seth Gray up to the plate. Hitless in his last 13 at-bats. He steps up to the left side. Nobody on. Infield, outfield, straight away. The pitch from Reinhardt in the dirt. Count now 1-0. Eric Rivera waits on deck. Looking for his first hit as well. 0 for 2 with a walk. Scored 1 of 2 runs in the top of the 5th, though. The 1-0 to Seth. Called a strike, low and away. And the count evens out. 1 ball and 1 strike. A 2-2 tie here from Gov Fuller Field. And a do-or-die situation for Hyannis. The 1-1 pitch. Bouncer almost gets away and actually does scoot away from Hanley. But no harm, no foul with nobody on base. Everyone shaded up the middle against Seth here. And the 2-1. Cut on and a broken bat ground ball over to Cantrell. He fields backhand side, throws over to Iser at first. And the Harbor Hawks go down 1-2-3 in the top of the 9th inning. Now for last licks for the home ball club. The Commodores send Will Brennan, Maverick Hanley, and Austin Langworthy, the top of their order, to the batter's box to try and hit their way into the next round of the playoffs and hit their way away from a trip back to McKeon Park tomorrow. More baseball in just a moment on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Don't go anywhere. The entire season rides on the next 3 outs of baseball.
Magic Works Media copyright. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Chris Lucey and Robert Marcello back with you here for the bottom of the 9th inning, a 2-2 tie in Game 2 of the Western Division semifinals. Dylan Thomas back out. First pitch to Will Brennan, hacked on and nicked foul out of play behind home. Count 0-1 on the K-State left fielder, who's 2 for 4 today with a pair of singles and a pair of flyouts. Last licks for either ball club here in regulation. The 0-1 bouncer gets away from Brady Lindsley and knocks off the home plate umpire, Tom Carey. Lindsley out from behind home to have a word with Thomas and give the home plate umpire a bit of a respite. Following up Brennan is Maverick Hanley, and then after him, Austin Langworthy. Lefty, righty, lefty here against the righty and Thomas. 1-1 the count on the first lefty and Brennan. Important Thomas puts him away soon. The 1-1. Cut on and roped foul behind home once again. 1-2 the count. You can hear a pin drop right now at Gov Fuller Field. A packed house on edge. The 1-2. Cut on and a high pop-up out of play. Count remains 1-2. A lot rides on this game. Should the Commodores find a way to walk it off against the Harbor Hawks, they advance to the Western Division Finals and advance one step closer to eliminating a long playoff drought. The 1-2. Cut on and served high and foul again. Count remains 1-2. And when I mean long, it's been an eternity almost since Falmouth has won a championship. They haven't taken one home since 1980. Hyannis trying to break a drought themselves. They haven't taken one home since 1991. The 1-2 from Thomas. Fastball inside, evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Infield, outfield straight away. Outfielders, however, playing a little bit back. The 2-2. Cut on and miss for strike 3. 8 strikeouts for Dylan Thomas in this game. He has been outstanding in a massive spot for the Harbor Hawks.
Excellent job by Dylan Thomas, continuing to command his pitches really well. Coming up big for the Harbor Hawks when they desperately need it.
Jumping up to 4 innings pitched with that strikeout. He struck out 8. It's only allowed 3 hits, no earned runs. Maverick Hanley at the right side of the plate takes ball 1 low and away. Count now 1-0. Harbor Hawks have been in this situation before after putting up 3 runs in the top of the 9th to tie a game against Falmouth earlier this year at Gov Fuller Field. Maverick Hanley walked it off, the 1-0. Called the ball high and away. It was July the 12th when Hyannis was able to have a surprising rally off of a pinch hit double from Adam Elliott. 3 runs coming in the top of the 9th to knot the game up. But Maverick Hanley bursting Harbor Hawks bubbles with a walk-off hit later in that game, the 2-0. Called a ball high and outside. 3-0 the count on the backstop out of Stanford. Was awarded the Danny Silver Award for sportsmanship earlier today. And the 3-0 from Thomas. Called a strike. The Stanford Cardinal taking all the way, and the count extending to 3-1. Nobody on, 1 away here in the top of the 9th inning. A 2-2 tie on the scoreboard here at Gulf Fuller Field. The 3-1. Hacked on and missed in the dirt for strike 2. Lights in full effect here at Gulf Fuller, and the pressure on as well. Seth Gray, the third baseman, now playing up the line down the third base side. The 3-2 pitch. Cut on and fisted foul down the first base line. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now Tom Carey out from behind home plate to ask for a couple of balls. Ball boy gives it to him. Looked as though he was saying a little something to Jeff Trundy in the first base dugout, but nothing comes of it. It's been a tense game between coaches and umpires today. Chad Gassman, the Harbor Hawks skipper, was tossed earlier in the day, and Trundy was out of the dugout, uncharacteristic of Trundy, to argue a call with Dave Chasen down the third base line. The 3-2 pitch. Cut on and nicked foul once again. Count stays 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on and 1 away here, top of the 9th inning. A 2-2 deadlock between the Harbor Hawks and the Commodores. Hyannis fighting to stay in the playoffs. And the Commodores trying to edge their way towards the finals. The 3-2. Cut on and fouled off the foot of Maverick Hanley. The catcher steps out briefly and shakes it off. Hanley, a seasoned catcher for the Stanford Cardinal. So very used to taking foul balls off the shins and the chest as well. Not wearing as much protection right now as he would behind the plate. But regardless, somebody who really puts the team first and has gotten the opportunity to serve himself a little bit this summer. He has to share pitch calling duties with the coaching staff at Stanford for the good of the pitching staff in the Pac-12 season. But out here on the Cape, he's called all the pitches. Got to experiment a bit. 3-2. It hits Maverick Hanley, and going off of his front elbow protector, Maverick Hanley works a free 90 feet with 1 away here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Now batting, the center fielder from Florida,
up to the plate now comes Austin Langworthy, the left-handed hitting terror out of the University of Florida. Hit by pitch, advancing Maverick Hanley over to first. Pedro Pages holding him on right now, and Brady Lindsley out to have a word with Dylan Thomas. A tense situation here. Dylan Thomas with 64 pitches on the game so far for the Harbor Hawks. This has been his longest outing of the season by far. And now Langworthy back up to the left side of the plate. One away here in the ninth, and the pitch. Called a ball, low and away, and the count advances to 1-0. Langworthy, 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a pair of walks. Righty on the mound, lefty at the place. Hanley on first base. Hanley goes, pitches a ball, throw down to second base, gets away from Davis Wenzel, bouncing off from Maverick Hanley, however, staying put at second base. Davis Wenzel quick to recover the baseball as it dribbled over towards straightaway second base, where he's able to pick it up. Maverick Hanley, though, getting the hold sign from Brett Becker and staying put, regardless, though, in scoring position. Austin Langworthy with a hitter's count, 2-0 on him right now. A tired pitcher on the mound and a dangerous situation, as now it looks like the Harbor Hawks will elect to walk Langworthy once again. He was intentionally walked in the bottom of the 7th inning, and now Brady Lindsley extending his glove over towards the right-handed batter's box as Maverick Hanley dances off the second base bag. One pitch out for a 3-0. And now the next, ball 4. And Austin Langworthy works a free 90 feet. That's his second intentional walk of the game. And now Cam Cannon up to the plate.
Number 26, Cam Cannon.
The third baseman out of Arizona, 0 for 4 on the day. Had a loud fly out to left field in the bottom of the 7th inning, though, and came into this game batting .389 against the Harbor Hawks on the season. Comes up with the season on the line for Hyannis. The first pitch from Thomas. Hacked on and roped out towards left field. It chases Matthew Barefoot to the wall and dumps in right in front of him. Coming in to score, Maverick Hanley. And he scores safe, and the Harbor Hawks season ends in a walk-off. Cam Cannon with the knock to end the Hyannis Harbor Hawks 2018 campaign in a 3-2 loss from Gulf Fuller Field in Falmouth. Cam Cannon just ripping this one away from the Harbor Hawks in just jarring fashion. We've been here before, Rob. We mentioned Maverick Hanley was the walk-off man that day, but today he's the run that scores and ends the season for the Harbor Hawks in a 3-2 loss and a 2-0 series sweep here against the Falmouth Commodores.
What a crazy game, and what a great season for the Harbor Hawks. Unfortunately, just not enough tonight, but a great season overall. Really proud of this group.
A lot to be proud of for this group. 16 wins last season for the Harbor Hawks. Didn't find them into the playoffs. And this year, they have an 8-win improvement, 24 wins for Hyannis this year. Between then and now, this Harbor Hawks team has come forward with leaps and bounds. But after the walk-off hit right there by Cannon, it's back to the drawing board for the Harbor Hawks front office this offseason. That'll be all on our broadcast for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But, Rob, I'll give you the floor for a second so you can say your goodbyes and your thank yous, and I'll wrap things up after.
Yeah, so just what a great year. Just thanks for everyone for listening. Just a great year, and unfortunately, the Harbor Hawks just not enough tonight, but a great season.
Absolutely. And I can say firsthand that it was a great season because last year it was a long haul at times, but all of our fans stuck with us. And thankfully, the front office stuck with me after the season was all said and done and gave me a chance at round 2 here on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network. And man, it has been an absolute blast. And it has been a privilege to tell the stories of your favorite players. Maybe I'm telling the stories of your son. It's just a tough way for it to end, but what a run it has been. Other thank yous in order, of course, are John Cabral and Lori Pfeiffer, the intern coordinator and assistant GM / broadcast coordinator / everything for the Harborhawks, and John Cabral. We would be God knows where without either of them.
Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Lori over to our left right now. John Cabral probably on his way to have a word with Chad Gassman after he gives his final speech of the season. But without those two, we certainly wouldn't be on the airwaves right now, Rob, and I wouldn't be out here for round 2.
Very true.
So hats off to them, of course. Big shout out to my parents as well for supporting me, listening to every broadcast. I'm sure they're listening right now. Thank you so much for everything you do for me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to even get out here in the first place and for supporting me all the way through. I do this for you, and I do this for the parents that are listening to their sons, and what a journey it has been. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And on behalf of the entire broadcast team, I thank you. Robert Marcello, Lyle Goldstein, Danny Terzer, what a group to work with. And that's just scratching the surface of an amazing group of interns that we had the chance to work with this season. I'll keep it at the broadcast interns because I'd keep you on the airwaves for a while if I went down the list.
We'd be on for a couple of hours, Chris.
That's true. And even more so if we told their stories each one by one. But an absolutely unforgettable ride here in season number 2. Thank you so much for sharing it with me. And now we bid you adieu. One last time, signing off on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network. I'm Chris Lucey. Thank you for joining us. And final score, Hyannis 2 and Falmouth 3. The Commodores eliminating the Harborhawks from the 2018 Western Division playoffs with a walk-off hit, a 2-game series sweep here from Gov Fuller Field. Thank you so much for joining us. And be sure to tune in to this next season of baseball. Hyannis will look to break a ringless streak that goes back to 1991. They won't do it this year, but there's always next year, and you can listen right here when things get underway. Thank you, and have a great night.